fam.
Hello. Hey, fam. Hey, babe. Good morning.
Good morning, Esther.
Good
Um,
morning, everyone. Hello.
I think is it a good morning or is it a good evening? So
Good
good morning for
evening.
those who are in the Philippines and good evening for those who are on the other side of the world. Yeah, so
Yes.
today we're going to be talking about something very interesting. The reason why we chose this topic because if you are not familiar with who we are, um Esther and I actually have like a cool dynamic. Cool for me, at least. So we were just talking a few days ago about like how founders can be visionaries at the same time but have a hard time actually focusing on in their ideas. And it's so funny because Esther and I also have this dynamic, like I have like a million ideas and she would be jotting it down and be the
Like I always do.
and be
Not
the
just for you, actually.
yeah, and be the person who actually has the problem of figuring out how to implement things. So, if you're a founder or visionary who's constantly coming up with ideas and you struggle to take action because you literally don't know which tasks to prioritize or where to start, and you're stuck in analysis paralysis, then you're in for a treat today because that's exactly what we're solving, or at least trying to solve.
Yes, I'm super duper excited as well because I see this problem. So it's very rampant, that a lot of business owners or a lot of visionaries like Liz herself, whenever I'm around her or even when I'm around with Kirk, I usually feel like um all of their ideas, all of their visions really has, it has meat inside of it, and like they need someone to really meet. Yeah. They really need someone to, get it in check. Having someone to build a system out of it, because what it really needs is just really to take action. Like, as you know, then the very essence of having visions is how do you actually implement it without really,
That's right.
wasting time. And
Yeah.
time is, of course, a very, time is gold. That's all I can say.
I absolutely agree, Momshi. But before we dive into today's topic, we just forgot to introduce ourselves.
Yes.
um,
Go
by the
on.
way, I'm Liz. We are from the outsourcing bar, and this is my beautiful partner.
Esther. Hello, everyone. I hope you're still excited to see our beautiful faces. And of
Yeah,
course,
and
we are.
we're from the outsourcing bar, and we offer everything from EA services to VA services to specialized skilled services. And we're happy to help you delegate most of your tasks so that you can free up your plate and finally enjoy life. So that's basically who we are in a nutshell. Yeah, Momshi, can you recall? Let's just tell them a funny story real quick. If you can recall, I think I remember you giving me and Kirk, your husband, a task to kind of like figure things out regarding, I
I
kind
think
of
I just I think I just did that yesterday to both of you.
yeah, to kind of like figure things out regarding details of the business, systems wise, operations, etc., etc. And instead of actually solving the problem, we ended up kind of like creating new business ideas and
Mm-hmm.
exploring more and more. So it becomes an endless list of ideas and businesses, and nothing really, we never actually create like a solid actionable plan. And that's where Esther and a lot of our VAs actually step in, because it's
Mm-hmm.
actually it's actually their responsibility to kind of like figure out how to develop and execute our ideas. So, Momshi, before we dive, let's do a quick check in. If, our guests are already here, our
Yes.
audience is here. If you're watching this live, can you please drop an emoji in the comments, your favorite emoji of all time? Because we love emojis. If you ever had so many ideas that you ended up doing absolutely nothing, I want you to be honest. Let us know. Are there any questions as well? Feel free to drop them in the comment section. And Momshi, Momshi
Yes,
Esther, what
just engage in this live. Drop in the comments. If you've ever, this is not just for visionaries who are needing actually executive assistance. This is also for people who have who felt very overwhelmed by their task because
yeah.
they have like too many ideas that they don't know how to operate. So this is also for you. So please feel free to drop in a comment. We have here Cherry. She did drop a comment emoji of champagnes. Yeah, I like
Oh,
that. Cheers, Cherry.
here's Cherry.
Hello.
Jenny is also here and she's watching from Dumaguete. Hi, Jenny.
Hello,
How are you?
Jenny. Hello,
Yeah.
everyone. To everyone who is watching, please feel free to drop a comments if you do have questions, and if you feel like you have something to say about what we are talking about, then we'd be very happy to welcome you. And
Yes.
first off, ayan, I think I ought to ask this question to you. What would be a visionary's struggle? Why does founders get stuck? Do you ever get stuck, Liz?
Yes, even if you ask my EA Noor, I have a
Hi,
very
Nor.
I still have a very long task list. So I think as visionaries, we absolutely love to generate new ideas. We're
Mm,
constantly thinking of new strategies, how we can position ourselves in the market, what would be a unique way of doing things, new offers, new ways to grow. But but with that comes the problem. When everything seems like a good idea, it's hard to figure out where to actually start, or like which idea to actually prioritize, or to because not every idea is an idea worth pursuing, right?
yeah.
And so what happens is, because there's too many ideas going on in my brain, I ended up getting stuck and not having to, I think getting stuck in the entire thinking process for sometimes a week, sometimes a month, sometimes even a few months, right?
Mm.
So that's really a struggle that I had as a business owner. That's why I'm super super thankful to my very organized friends, who includes Esther, Yen, Nor, who really helps me keep my life in check, not just in business, but also in my personal life.
That's true. I highly agree. I think I also get to see, that curse. Is that a curse? I get to see that challenges. Yeah. Alongside, being with you, talking about, your our brainstorming sessions. I really get to experience the challenge. It's like, as you've said earlier, if we're still talking about building up a business. So this you have this new, you saw this shiny object, and then you had an idea like, "Eh, we can monetize this." And I was like, "Oh, yeah, that's a good idea." And then in between the lines of talking about that idea, you created another idea of creating another business, a totally different system, totally different business idea. So I think that really is a challenge for, no, for visionaries, because there is a lot of people who is always thinking ahead of the game, like always thinking about innovation, thinking about, like yourselves, you are thinking on innovation. How could I, how can I improve this process, how can I improve the
Yeah,
service, stuff like that.
yeah,
And sometimes with that, you really get paralyzed. I really see you get stuck on that. And as someone who sees it as a big opportunity, outside, thinking outside of the box. It really just needs to get done.
Yeah.
Doesn't matter if it's not perfect yet, the systems are not perfect yet. Of course,
Yeah.
we need to be prepared with the systems, but yeah, I would
Yeah.
really attest to the experiences and challenges because I even feel it. If I'm not the one making the vision. I'm not the one making ideas, but as someone who is listening, as someone who is, you know, in the brainstorming sessions, I can really see it as a great challenge for you guys. And
Yeah.
yeah.
I think it isn't just like the visionary part. I think in general a lot of entrepreneurs really struggle with kind of like implementing their ideas, especially when you already have too much on your plate.
Mm,
And you're really not the most organized person in the world, because you may not be visionary, but you still lack organization, or at least you have some organizational skills. But it's different when you're tackling a business where is everything is important. Like marketing is just as important as sales, and it's just as important as operations. And when you're juggling a lot of these on your own, then it can be very exhausting, and it can also be very paralyzing, as you have mentioned. I had a conversation with a client earlier today, and um, we kind of talked about this a bit. Like even when I'm looking for content inspiration, like if you just look at my iPad, and my EA knows this, my iPad is filled with screenshots of content ideas, things that I saw on Pinterest. And it's it's yeah, it's surprising because I never actually gone into um and actually sat down and sorted through these ideas. Instead, what I do is whenever I create content, I'd have to go through Instagram again.
mm-hmm.
And yeah, that also attests that a lot of the ideas that have actually been you know captured in my iPad weren't really implemented properly, because they weren't put in the system, as opposed to
Mm-hmm.
when we started creating Notion and putting all of our ideas there, and someone goes in, like a team member just goes in and sorts through everything and puts them in, day 1, day 2, this is what we're posting, figuring out like the captions, etc., etc. That makes it easier for me to actually identify, okay, these are the assets that I need to create, these are the things that I need to shoot. And you're very familiar with this, because this was this is your this is a this is your responsibility, and we just kind of like show up and
Yeah.
maybe like do the shoot.
Yeah,
Yeah.
yeah, yeah. I think how why that happens is, I would agree with you saying, you really have those, know, system.
Yeah.
I've also said this from our recent live where I said, systems don't fail, but people don't fail, but systems does. So it's a matter of putting in the right people, the right team,
Yeah.
alongside with you, who really make things happen, like building the systems for you to prioritize. As you've said, you've put your idea dumps into Notion, put it in
Yeah.
a categorized system. You put it in a checklist, some sort of that.
That's
uh
right.
that really helps you not lo- lose momentum per se, because I'm as a visionary, you feel, you feel that hype of really starting something that will work.
Yeah.
Yes, I do feel that when you and Kirk is talking about, um
A
you both
million
are,
different ideas.
yeah, a billion different ideas. Your brains are like, I don't know, disorganized. I'm not so sure with a lot of ideas, but a good
No,
thing. Yeah, yeah, yeah.
I like to call it beautiful chaos, but you're absolutely right. Let's be real. An idea without execution is merely just daydream.
That's true.
Yeah.
I love that.
And
Yeah. It's like
yeah, and
daydreaming. Yeah.
uh-huh. And when you don't prioritize, you spend all of your time thinking instead of actually executing, and this is where businesses actually lose momentum. I think I was journaling as well earlier, and I kind of like came up with the realization that as you scale, like something that I wish that I had done in my business was really start and have hired a VA for the first 3 months, because that
Mm.
way I would still be learning a couple of stuff and she would be learning with me, as opposed to when you're already in the point of scaling. I think that
Mm.
as you grow, it's not just a competition of like finding a VA with just potential anymore. I think that when you're already in the stage of when you're ready to scale, I think it's more of a competition of finding the right talent. And
Mm.
this is really where experience really comes into play, because if I was hiring someone who has no idea of how operations work,
Yeah.
and you can be a very organized person, but if you have absolutely no idea about how digital marketing works, how operations work, you would have a hard time actually coming in and taking charge of the ideas that I actually spit out, because you'd have to be learning most of these stuff from scratch, right? And that's
Yes.
really why we've actually come up with a solution of like starting to offer executive assistants who have been trained exactly for these types of stuff, who can be the right hand of business owners and actually take initiative in these areas, and actually going through a 5 phase process before they can actually come into that role of being an executive assistant here at the outsourcing bar.
Yes, yeah. I think that's also one of our unique selling proposition, really matchmaking executive assistants to people who are really ready to scale their businesses,
Yeah,
entrepreneurs or
that's
business owners who are really looking for not not wasting their resources. Of course, time is an essence. If you're an entrepreneur or a business owner or agency owners really looking to scale, you really need people who are already have gone through that, like ours in outsourcing bar have gone through that 5 phase training and training process wherein we really made sure that this person is ready to accompany you towards your business growth.
yeah.
So, yes, that's very important. And we do have a question for our audience today, this morning. We have a question here for you guys to answer. So, drop your comments below. And the question is, what's the wildest number of ideas you've had in your notes at one time? Let's be honest. You, Liz. What's the wildest number of ideas you've had in your notes or in your brain at one time?
I think I can fill a 5 pages long bond paper
Ooh,
of just
wow.
ideas, especially when I'm out. This we've discovered this, that when I'm under the slight influence of alcohol and a little bit tipsy, I can really spout ideas. Yeah, because I think that we also kind of like the reason why we chose um a a bar themed concept was we kind of agreed that a lot of our unique business ideas aren't really things that we talk about in the office, but more
Mm,
during when we are out, like having dinner, just having like a normal, regular conversation without
yeah.
any pressure of work at all. I think that's where my brain really works its best. So, if you're a founder or visionary or just a regular entrepreneur and you're having a hard time already finding these hours to actually disconnect and just be yourself and be your most creative and strategic self, then I highly encourage you to go to outsourcingbar.com and start booking that task inventory audit call. It's absolutely free so that you can um, talk to one of our experts, either Esther, me, or Kirk, to kind of like discuss like how an executive assistant can help you, or how we can come in and suggest the best plan of action for you and your business. So
Mhm.
I think that we have a question here from Chloe Mom. What advice do you have for staying committed to a current project when tempted by new exacting but with
Commitment. We
exciting,
answered that.
yeah. I
Yeah.
think it's really understanding as well that you can't understanding and accepting that you can't do everything on,
Everything.
yeah.
Yes.
And yeah, a business is really made of people, and as a founder your job is to actually just focus on vision and decision making, not every little detail. And that's
Yeah.
where the right support really comes in. Oh, how
That's
about
true.
you, Moms? Yeah, how about you? Like, where,
I
how do
think
you go into?
I would highly agree on you saying that the founders, the visionaries, should really focus on the big picture, like big picture, making big decisions for the company. It's not making the smallest decisions like, do we post this? Is this the right content? Is this, like checking every detail of every output that your team is making. That's not the founder's job. You should be focusing on the big picture decisions, like you said, not in every little details. So I think the power of delegation comes in. So as the founder, you need to delegate. Elise already said it, that you cannot do everything. Yes, you do have a lot of ideas. Yes, you do have, a lot, like your ideas are like dreams of grandeur. Like everything is grand, right? So,
Mhm.
how do you start implementing those by yourself? You cannot implement those. So you need to delegate. I would need someone to operate my business. I would need someone to handle the finance. I would need someone to, to do the operations. So, um, being committed to a current project, um, when tempted by new exciting ideas, Chloe, it's really good. Uh, I think tempted by new and exciting ideas is really a good opportunity. So I'm not saying to throw it out in the trash bin. So still work on new exciting ideas, but by staying committed to a current project, you have to entrust that current project to someone else. You have to delegate that current project to someone who's already good at it. So you really don't need to be present on all of the projects. You'll just have to be to make the big decisions for it, not not every little detail. So I would say delegation and entrusting it to someone who would, who knows what they are doing. So
Yeah. And we also have another question here from Trexie. How do you know if an idea is worth pursuing? For me personally, because I didn't really start with having an EA, but for me personally, I know that an idea is worth pursuing if it's something that is already in line with the goal that I set for the current quarter. So, yeah, I think that's also something that I've exercised before, actually setting goals. So if, let's say for example, this at this point I wanted to um grow the business in terms of like leads or something like that, and then like an idea comes up that's totally unrelated to this idea but something that I do want to pursue. So what I do is I kind of like put it somewhere. I just dump the idea somewhere, and if after the like once the quarter is over and I still feel like I want to pursue that idea, then that's my, I kind of like think that that's my signal that it's something worth pursuing, because I still have it in my bones that I'm still excited about it. Because sometimes
yes.
like you get so excited by the idea at the moment, but then you realize after a few nights of sleep that that's not really something that you want for yourself, or it's not in line with who you are and your goals.
Yeah, I would agree because I experienced that with Kirk as well. Like Kirk would wake up in the middle of the night, like a 1 a.m. idea, like we're just literally sleeping and it's like, "Oh, I have idea." It's like, "Did you have a dream or what? Did God send the ideas in a dream?" Like he does have those moments wherein he he thinks of an idea like a light bulb moment for him, and then what he does is like he has this rule. I'm not sure if how many hours it is for him. Like he talks about it like in the moment he talks about it, and then by tomorrow if he talks about it, I would say that he is really he's really pursuing this. Like if I see him talking about it for a span of 1 week, every day, every single day, every single night, even when we're eating, even when we're in bed, I can really see that it still feels like the same as the first time that he had that idea. There are also ideas where Kirk is like, I've only heard about it like once or twice. I can really compare that, you know, that idea will be going to, it will really going to the drain. So that's the time that I say, okay, that's not worth pursuing. And also, I think choosing which ideas is worth pursuing. It's also depending if it's aligned with your goals. As a what are your goals like? You know, if I've seen a new business, as Liz, if she has seen a lot of business ideas in the internet, we are in the information age right now.
Yeah.
So in a day, I think Liz can think about 100 business ideas. But if she really sees that it's not aligned with her goals as a person, career wise, it's not having a clear return of investment. Of course, business equals money, right? So
Yeah.
if she sees that it's not giving her like clear ROI, she doesn't know how to do it, or it doesn't meet market demands, or it depends. So if I also see it in Kirk, like if it really drains his energy, like there are ideas when you think about it, and then you're like, oh, I think I cannot do this. And there are ideas where you really feel like I can really do this. You can compare like this idea. If I pursue this, it will really drain my energy. It'll really drain your time. So I think you really have to also
Filter
think.
out the noise. Yeah. Filtering
Yes.
out the noise. I think that's also something that a visionary or a founder actually struggles with. And this is where an EA is actually very crucial, especially an EA who's so familiar with you and your business. I think part like I saw somewhere in a, what do you call this, in a Facebook group, there was this discussion about like having an EA who's also a personal assistant. I think that's something that we also practice here. Like
Mm-hmm.
an EA should be able to understand the quirks, the preferences, like even how the founder actually works, right? Because we all have different working styles. Like Kirk and I are both visionaries, but the way we work are so different. For example,
Yeah.
yeah, I absolutely get overwhelmed when looking at project management systems like Asana, ClickUp. My brain stops working. I would need a system that's very visual, wherein I can see colors and photos and actually
And
organize,
emojis.
yeah,
Yeah.
organize it the way I want. That's why Notion really works for me. And I'm lucky because I've had 11 years, 13 years of experience as a VA myself before actually before stepping into freelancing and becoming this founder. um that's why I feel like I did kind of like develop the project management skills to actually find a system that would suit for me. And so that's why we're using Notion now. And I've kind of like set up most of the things. But if you're a founder, and not all founders are actually techie. So if you
Mm-hmm.
own like a local business or something like that, it, I don't think that it's worth your time to actually dive in and get to learn what these tools are, which tools are the best. I think that's where an EA who really gets you, like really gets you
Mm.
and can make executive decisions with you, that's where an EA really does help.
Yes. And I think also it's about matching your energy. The
Mm,
EA's energy matching, which is also
yeah.
one of our unique, our unique strengths here at Outsourcing Bar. So we make sure that, it's not just about skills. It's not just about, completing task. It's not just about that. It's about your EA, making solutions for you without, you know without without your supervision per se. It's also about someone who would know what would you do if I were the founder. What would I do? What would I decide on, if this happens? Like, what would I eat today if, I know that Liz, after a
Oh
whole day of content creation, I know that she will be looking exactly for sweets.
Oh
Yes.
yeah,
So it's someone,
ice cream.
that it's yeah, ice cream, sweets, and even it's if it's 12 midnight, she's still looking for ice cream, which so it's about having that person who would get you, who would get I'm not saying uh who would
Read your
carry
mind.
this. Yeah, yeah, who would carry the same burden. It's not
Yeah,
like, it's like, it will, you will really feel light, even if she's not just doing anything, right? So I think
absolutely.
it's about that energy matching it. So
Yeah.
yeah,
I
so we
absolutely agree. So, let me just share something real quick for like practical advice for everyone. So, we were training the social media manager, and we were working together. Here in the office, and then you know what, I love her, and we really did come up with amazing ideas, and we really did some work there, but it really took a lot of energy from me, because
mhm.
she was still in training, and so I had to really guide her, and a lot of the ideas still had to come from me, because she wasn't as
Mm.
familiar with my business as much as I am, as opposed to, so I had to really remove myself from, content creation and content plannings, for me to actually focus on, generating leads for the business, marketing, that, because I know that's where my strength lies. And when I hired someone who actually is very familiar with Instagram, very familiar with content, and when it's different, like the conversation is so much different when you're talking to someone who absolutely knows, um has a bit of expertise on the topic,
Mm.
because
Mm.
then you can actually, like instead of like me having to dump my energy into the VA, it's like an exchange of energies. There's a dynamic there wherein she can also make decisions. She can tell me this isn't right. And
Yeah,
as
yeah.
a founder, I absolutely appreciate that, because literally, like you said, it makes me feel lighter. It absolutely makes me feel like something is literally being taken off my plate.
Mhm.
And as we go into this conversation, and she solves more and more problems for me, it actually becomes easier for me to actually let go, because as a business owner, my business is very personal to me. It's something that, it's not just a job, it's like my own little baby. So
Mhm.
every time someone, says something about my business, I get very, very protective, as you may have known. um so I really, and that comes with the difficulty of letting go of control, and
Mm.
making sure that everything is absolutely perfect, especially in our line of business. For us, we are part of the creative industry, and when you're in creatives, everything that you put out, like in terms of output, needs to be on point, because that already
Mhm.
part of your portfolio. So having to find people who can actually, replace me in an area in the business, that's been a challenge. And so I found that a perfect balance of having people with potential and having people who are already expert on things are a great way, is the great combination. And right now I'm just enjoying having to be disconnected from social media for an entire 24 hours. And when I look at my feed the following day, stories are being put up, posts are being put up. I'm actively engaging in the comments with,
Without you knowing that you are there.
yeah,
Yeah.
without them actually knowing that I wasn't really the one, because we train our EAs and our VAs to actually come into Chat GPT and prompt them so that it would sound exactly like, for me, I have
Yeah.
a unique way of saying things. I have this vibe, this energy, and part of our process is actually prompting AI and teaching them how to talk and write
Like you.
exactly like us. Yeah.
Mhm.
So that's one thing that we teach our VAs. Another reason why you should book a call right now by going to outsourcingbar.com and talking to one of our experts, if you haven't already, to discuss like what are the tasks that we can help you with, and how we can help you focus and create an action plan for your business. But yeah, I think it's already time for us to talk about action steps, Momsh. If you're like, I'm sure that even as a systems person, you also have you also encounter moments wherein you're feeling overwhelmed with too many ideas, even if
Yeah.
it's just as simple as, what are we gonna eat today?
Uh-huh. Yeah. All the time. Like all the time. Um Pretty much is like I think that's where you yourself have to also build a system. Like if someone would be talking to me right now, how how can I effectively put it into like the most simplest terms, because as visionaries you spout words that I can't even understand. Like for me, um I would always say to Kirk, like, even if I'm sleeping, just talk to me. So sometimes what I would do is, even if I don't understand, I put a record. I record what he's actually
Yeah,
saying. If at that time I really cannot understand what he's talking about, or I really don't know how to put it into words yet, or into a system yet, or how to jot down all of the ideas that he has. Sometimes I really, you know, hit the record button and just I'll just agree to everything that it says, because um that idea would not come back, sometimes. And for
yeah,
me, as someone who he had, entrusted saying that idea, I feel I really no, it's my responsibility to really give it back to him in a systemized way, not just
yeah,
the, not just giving him back the same set of ideas that he said to me. So
yeah.
it's like I'm the dumps. It's a weird it's a weird thing to say, like the dumpster. It's like you're throwing, like, because
Yeah,
the way I see it is, you have a lot of ideas. So it's like you're putting away, you're dumping it everything. So like I'm the dumpster when I have to, like, if I would be a dumpster, literally you would have here the non-recyclable, recyclable.
uh
So
I love that.
yeah, yeah. So
I love that.
I would also have to build a system wherein I myself would know, okay, you will be here, you will be put in
Yeah.
this bin, that idea will be in this bin, that idea will be bin. Then after that, I would prioritize, like,
Mm.
which of these ideas, and
Are worth
from the
pursuing.
people that we have, like from the people that we have, which of these ideas will I prioritize, wherein I can delegate it, as without wasting resources, without wasting time. So if Kirk would say, okay, I'm going to offer, like, a website design, like from the agency cafe. So I would say, okay, this is like, we do have people, like we do have website designers. We can delegate this. Like, on the spot. Like, okay, let's build this, let's offer this, because I know we can operate through this because the system is already ready. So
Yeah.
I would prioritize that idea. It, in comparison, if Kirk would say, oh, I'm gonna build a studio, like, we don't have resources for that yet. We need to build, we need
People.
equipments, we need people, we need videographers, we need, and I would look into the resources that we have. That would also be like a factor where it helps me know what to prioritize, and also what to delegate and what to execute.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And I think mom that dynamic works for you because you're husband and wife and you're always with each other all the time. But I think
Mm-hmm.
that when you're working with someone remotely or someone that, you're not in the same someone who isn't in the same time zone as you are,
Mm-hmm.
what we do in our business, what we did in our business, and Yen Yen helped us solve this problem, because like you said, sometimes the best ideas come at 2 a.m., 1 a.m. in the morning.
Mm-hmm.
So what Yen Yen set up for me is, she went into my notes app, and I have an iPhone, so she went into my notes app, and she kind of like, I don't know how she did it, but she established or in created a shared note for me. So every time I have an idea, I'd have to, I just talk to my phone in the shared note, and then it will be automatically shared with my EA, so
Mm-hmm.
that she'll have an understanding of how my brain works. And
Yes.
I would have like an idea dump and still have it communicated to my EA even when she's sleeping or when she's in another side of the world. And I think that's something that we've resolved in the outsourcing bar too,
Mm-hmm.
given that some of our clients are US based.
Yeah, I think that's also one of the misconceptions. Like, you know, a lot of the founders or a lot of entrepreneurs, when they have the VA, automatic. Of course, yes, we do have VAs who can, decide for you without even, bugging you. But a part or as a in our system, like in our VAs, we make sure that the VA is still aligned with you, of course, even if like the time zone difference, like having your EA in line with everything that you're thinking, in line with all of your plans, is also very important. That, like, we also give specific roles to our clients, not roles like you have to do this, you have to check this, not like giving our clients a list, but also giving our clients the responsibility of putting our VAs inside of their systems. Like,
Yeah.
because most of the clients that we experienced before, we've really seen this as a challenge when clients like hire from our VA and they're gone. Like, okay, you figure things out, you know,
Yeah.
yeah. So I think that's
without
also one of the
actually without actually integrating them into the workflow, into the system
yes.
that the client has, especially when you come into a time wherein the systems and workflows are still in progress or are still being
Mhm.
built. I think that's also part of our challenge and part of the things that we try to solve for businesses as well. Yeah.
Mm. Yeah.
And so you mentioned about brain dump and prioritizing, but after you've prioritized, the task list doesn't the task list doesn't shorten even when you prioritize.
It's
So
true.
there's really a need to delegate, right?
Hmm.
So how do you identify, because this is something that I still kind of like struggle with, how do you know which ones should remain with the founder and which ones should be delegated?
Okay. I think it's so here in a so I think it's different whenever it's because you are a creative agency, like your brain is not as creative as your EAs are or as your creative team are. So but what works for us is this. So um we have people, we have specialists in specific departments, so we departmentalize them. So for example, in off page, one in web, one in technical SEO, one in off page, one in content writing. It's much easier for us because we already have specialists on that field. For example, if Kirk would say, if let's build like a copywriting business, and then I would prioritize. Of course, copywriting has a lot of specific tasks, right? Copywriting for what? Copywriting for, would you like it to be niche specific? Would you like it to focus only for doctors, lawyers, or staff? So by then we prioritize. So once we've come up to like a list of priorities, we then go into what we currently have. So I would see if you know I will see if it's not my zone of genius, like you yourself. Like, I know you are very, you know how to do everything, right? You know how to do graphics, you know how to do websites, copywriting, and everything. But it's about, even if I know how to do this, I see a person who, it's about, um I know that the truth helps, but the truth hurts, but it's about saying to yourself, like, she or he is much better copywriter than my outputs would be. Like,
Yeah.
you, because you already have that belief system, like, this is how it would work, this is how I sound like,
Yeah.
how my graphics would show up. You really have that expectations on what the output would become
Yeah.
if you were to write it, for example. So
Yeah.
if you have seen a copywriter from your team who's not really, who doesn't really sound like you, who doesn't really, use the same emojis as you do, but if you do delegate it to them, it's a different kind of output. But if it's not your zone of genius, then just pass it on.
Yeah.
So it's
Absolutely.
I'm not even talking about trust. I'm just talking about, you as a founder, um would it be worth my time to be doing this? Like,
Mm.
um should I be really checking your content every time we get it posted as a blog or as an article? Should I really be doing that? Or should I just let you know? Should I just be clear on what my goals are for this specific content? Like, for example, I would like the voice of this content to be happy, to be
Yeah.
funny, to be just, so let them do it. Just let them. I think
Absolutely.
one thing is, just be clear. Be clear on your goals, on the outputs that you really want, and let them do it. People can really grow. I really What I admire the most with the team here is, most of our managers, they really, when newbies or interns go ask them something, they do help out, but they do not really answer your question. Like, if I would be asking one of our managers here, like, is this the right sentence to use? So, like, they would talk back to me and say, if you were to read it, would you like it? Or we're like, okay, I'm just gonna, it's about also entrusting them, because once you trust them more, give them more authority on what they are doing, they really
Yeah.
improve. You can really see an improvement on their outputs and work. So
Yeah, absolutely. I absolutely agree. And yeah, even in our business, like me for example, I think I had this epiphany while I was talking to my friend who is an online business manager. She's in operations day in, day out, and she assists creative agencies. And we were just talking about, I was really having a hard time scaling because I had a hard time maintaining the quality of my work.
mm,
Like my clients would really come in and say, Liz, did you do this? So it's
mm,
really hard for me to actually find a person who's, I've found people who are good in design but couldn't really replicate um my signature style, because my style really has its own signature. I think you guys also know this. You can really say if something has been done by Liz or not. And what she said to me is that because I'm such a personal brand and because I have such a signature style, people work with me not because they really need a website. People work with me because they need a website done by Liz. And they
Mm-hmm.
expect the website to be done by Liz. So it's really hard for me to actually um step out from that design, from that design role. I still need to be there, but that also means that I would have to delegate tasks elsewhere. That means I would have to remove myself from marketing, because there are a lot of tasks that can be delegated in terms of when you say marketing, like,
Mm-hmm.
the content creation part, maybe not recording, because I still have to be there, I still have to show up with my face on it. Yeah, but there are already people who, my team uses faceless videos from time to time if I don't really have the time to kind of step in. But I really did appreciate that, perspective when she said that to me, because at that time I was really focused on how I should delegate design and development, when it's something that should have been, retained by me, because that is where my zone of genius is. That is the bread and butter of the company. And I really cannot remove myself from that, because I have branded myself as such a personal brand with such a signature style. Yeah, it's something that I should really put a lot of my focus on, and really satisfying clients. But I can specifically recall, as I tend to focus on other stuff, my quality of work in terms of my designs, they really diminish,
Mm-hmm.
because I'm juggling a lot of tasks, and I would have like I would have what we call decision fatigue. I can't really make I can't really be my most creative self when my brain is thinking a lot. Sometimes when I'm doing design and I'm thinking about marketing, I'm thinking
Mm-hmm.
about the lead that I need to follow up.
You're
I'm thinking
wearing
about
too many hats. Yeah. Mm.
I'm thinking about who's updating our website, who's thinking about the blog posts, like what are we gonna post today, like. And I'm a single mom of three boys. I also have to think about, like, are they studying well, are their assignments accomplished. So if I'm in those, like I'm in each individual department, it really is so hard for me to stay focused and be my most creative self, and actually, satisfy clients enough for them to return, to give return business to us. So after I learned that, I really did switch gears. Right now, I'm handling the design. I'm really taking control of the design aspect and the development aspect, because that's how I keep my clients happy. And I'm now delegating, from the a marketing standpoint. Other people are already engaging for me. Like I said, we've
Mm.
just created a system. We've automated as much as we can in the business. And I think that it's not really that it's the most perfect solution, but it is a solution that keeps us moving forward at the moment. So
Mm.
yeah, I think that that's also where, having someone, because I wouldn't have that aspect, or like I wouldn't even have that insight even after 13 years in the industry. I did not have that insight, um unless someone else pointed it to me. So that's why it really helps to have someone who has the training, has the experience, and has, that proactivity, the soft skills, has
Mm.
the soft skills to actually come in and analyze, your business, analyze even you as a founder. And I think that's what you're really good at, Momsh, because that's not something that that's really not something that would personally be able to accomplish on my own. So,
I
and
think
I
that's
think,
also, yeah, I think that's also one of the purpose of this live for today. It's, it's giving awareness to founders or visionaries like you do, giving them awareness that, they know that they need someone, but they just, like, it feels like, is it just me, or do I have trust issues, or this and that. So this is the purpose of this live as well, for people to know that you are not alone. Yes, you
oh,
are. We are here. We are also here to solve your problems. So just hit outsourcingbar.com, and we offer a free executive audit. So you will be able to talk to Liz and to Kirk, and they will be able to match you with one of our executive VAs, trained executive VAs. See how they would help you and your business grow. So I really agree, Mamshi, of you saying that um I think it's not taking action on all of the ideas. It's like taking action one thing at a time. So I really saw the transition of you before, of you having a hard time letting go of the expectations of your clients on your work versus the expectations of your clients on your agency's work.
yeah,
So it's really a difficult transition for you to make. But hey, look at you now. Look at your team now, right? So
yeah,
you are now able to, delegate tasks that they are already in the system. Your team is already in a system where they will be able to help you on building a website, like even just simple, simple things like elements, icons, still that will take a lot out of your, out of your time. So it's not about um thinking thinking about a lot of more ideas, but it's really to actually execute which are the right ones.
yeah.
Yeah. So
Which ones to delegate, which ones to automate, and which ones should be retained by you. I think that's three things that you really need to figure out as a business owner as well. Yeah. Do we have any other questions from our audience?
let's say hi to some of our we have a lot of viewers for today. So thank you so much, guys, for watching. We have here Roger Roldan watching from Riyadh.
Wow.
Wow. Ooh. We are in
Wow.
live internationally. So we also have Kenneth Roldan watching from the Republic of Kazakhstan, oil and gas refinery electrician technician. Ooh.
Ah.
Oh, grabe
Oh,
man. We
well there.
also have Queen. Hi from Cebu.
Mm,
Hello.
yeah, speaking of Cebu, I just wanted to have a quick shout out to one of our beloved friends who's celebrating her birthday today. Hi, Mama
Happy
Chris. Happy
birthday.
birthday. Happy birthday. I hope you're having a fun time there. And we really wish you the best. Are there any tools or resources you recommend for managing and organizing a surplus of ideas? This was asked by Bobby. Um, Managing and organizing a surplus of ideas. Well, for me, it's Notion. For Esther, it might be something else, but really, the the tool that I use the most, honestly, is just a pen and paper.
Yeah. That's what would I answer, because I'm a pen and paper still. It's different if you're, because I also have a photographic memory. So I usually remember things when I write them down. It actually depends on, what you're comfortable at, Bobby. But you can also, we use this tool called Miro.
Mm,
Miro. So you can also build systems, and you can draw whatever you like, because you can also build workflows there. So that would also help you out.
yeah. But for me, whenever I'm sorting through tasks or like brain dumping, I really like to write them down.
Mm.
And if it's not something that I want to pursue, I literally crush them out. I think
It's much
having
easier, yeah. Mm.
yeah, having to sort on paper and then only adding the ideas that you want to pursue or the things that you want to pursue on the project management platform, I think that's something that I really that's something that really works for me.
Mm.
Except when I'm literally having to pull up inspiration from links. That's not something that I'm willing to write down.
Right. So you can also try to do list. So on our daily day to day basis, we also love to prioritize things. So we use to do list. What else? Of course, we use project management platforms like ProofHub. You can also use Notion. So yeah, you can organize. I would suggest, like, if you also do not love writing, you can record it, or in your phone. Use your phone. Everywhere we go, we have our phones, so
Yeah.
notepads on your phone, or record it on your phone. Yeah.
Yeah. Well, I think that really covers yeah, most of our topic for today. I think we've covered a lot actually in 1 hour. And yeah, if this is you and you're currently in this phase of like juggling too many ideas, not just juggling too many ideas, but juggling too many ideas and too many tasks at one time, and you feel like you've hit a plateau in your business, then hop on to outsourcingbar.com and book a call with us now so that we can give you some guidance and help you figure out like which task you should delegate, which task you should automate, and which task you should really focus on right now. And tag a founder friend um who
To
needs to
hear
listen
this.
to something. Yeah.
Yes. And if you yourself is ready to get serious about execution, just reach out to us. Visit our website at www.outsourcingbar.com, and we would love to chat about how we can help you. So I guess that ends our live for today, Momshi.
Yeah, don't forget to drop your comment, your takeaways on the comment section, even after you've watched this, and let us know what content you would like to hear from us next. If you have any questions, we're happy. We're gonna be doing this as much as possible every week, and we're gonna be inviting some very exciting guests
Yes,
in
super
the
excited.
future.
Yes.
Yeah, so that we don't have to take on too many ideas at one time as well. So we're going to be actually inviting experts, and if there's something, like if there is a specific topic, or you have a specific challenge or problem in your business that needs solving, or that you want to learn more about, don't hesitate to send us your ideas. Yeah, it's either through Facebook, or you can find us on Facebook, you can find us on Instagram, you can even message us on email. Go to outsourcingbarph@gmail.com, just send us an email, and we will sort through it as good executive assistants do. And yeah, we will be implementing it as well into our weekly content plan here at the outsourcing bar. Anything you want to add, Momsh?
No, just a gentle reminder for everyone. So, a few key takeaways. I think one key takeaway from this is to really start one step at a time. I just remembered that song by Beyonce, Rihanna. I'm not sure. I'm sorry, guys, but it does have a title, "One Step at a Time." Yes, that song.
Yeah.
So that's it for today. You will be seeing a lot of our beautiful faces. So do not worry, guys. You will still be seeing us, of course, along with um, our guest experts who
Yeah.
will be sharing a lot of ideas from their field. So we are very excited for that. So if you want to be if you want to see still our beautiful faces, just follow our Facebook page at Outsourcing Bar,
Dot
and
com.
get updated through that. So I think we'll be seeing you guys a lot more, and I hope you also had um a lot to learn from us. So
Yeah.
thank you so much.
Bye and have a great day, guys.
Bye.